Joey B, man, with stats in hand, spilling numbers like grains of sand. Fantasy talking about diamond dreams, chasing players, whispering their schemes. Oh, Welsh, breaking it down real slow, voices howling in the radio's glow. Talking monsters on the baseball field, wizards swinging bats and magic shields. Fantasy baseball in the night, podcasters giving us that sight. Question marks and stars collide, dreams of glory never hide.
Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me, of course, is the Welsh, and it's all of you, the Peanuts, the Cracker Jacks, right here on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be to watch us live. And of course, you can watch us on demand on the YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. Subscribe there, drop your comments, ring the bell, do all that stuff. I don't know about you, Welsh, but that song put me in a really good mood. I see the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks are happy to hear it on the Twitch today. I feel kind of fired up on a Monday. I had an extra hour of sleep. Does it show?
Fired up? You pretty much tell us right where you're at the beginning of the show, how caffeinated or slept you are. But
I'm both.
Rock it.
I am both. I am caffeinated. I had a big-ass coffee before the football show this morning, and now I'm ready to talk some baseball. We got a lot to talk about. More injuries. We got another big starting pitcher going to the IL. We got the Chicago White Sox, who look like they're just world beaters right now. Another big prospect called up as well. But let us begin with maybe what I thought possibly was impossible. Roki Sasaki, consistent. Let's talk about this. Yesterday's start for Roki Sasaki, 8 strikeouts, limiting the Angels to 1 run, 7 innings, got another victory. Well, it's just a couple starts in a row here for Mr. Sasaki now, where we're starting to feel a little bit of a page turn maybe in his career. And I think this is fascinating because for those people who bought in, it was a rocky road for Roki, and that's not easy to say, to the beginning of the season. His ERA is still above 5. The whip is at 1.45 rather. But if you look at the last 2 starts, all of a sudden things have really started to turn a little bit for him. The efficiency's been there. The strikeouts have been there. The walks have been reduced. So what have you seen out of Roki here, and is it sustainable of these last 2 starts? Is this the new Roki that we're looking at?
Yeah, this looks like this is like trending in the direction that we want for a guy that we thought, and I think, smartest people out there, Lance Brozdowski saying this is just a reliever. The pitch mix change and the way he's covering the zone are starting to look more like a starter. So if you just look first off at stuff plus metrics, which are just going to grade the quality of the pitches, fastball's up, slider is above average, fastball's still below average, forkball is still incredible, his location plus is up, so like all of that is up. Then you look not just at the pitch mix change, which, year over year he made 2 significant changes. He moved the sweeper, which was a slower sweeper, to a harder slider, and then he added the split finger in. But also it's his zone coverage. That was the thing I was looking at. So I was looking at last year, if you look at the plot of the zone, he was just kind of meshed. If this is a zone, it's just all right here. All the pitches were just kind of covering the same spot. And that's just not going to work. Now you've got a fastball, that's able, if you go look at the 2026 zone plots, four-seam fastball is taking higher in the zone. Slider, he's throwing it for strikes, getting whiffs lower in the zone. The forkball, that thing was more in the zone last year. That is on the edges. So it's just he's able to cover the plate. He's got a good pitch mix. He's throwing more strikes. This is a great sign for him. Is he going to be an elite starting pitcher? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. It still feels like there's more juice in the tank if they want to end up adjusting some stuff like they've done with this arsenal. But I think this is a good spot. Juice in the tank. I don't know, Joe. I know that's what you're going to ask, but
it's a Welshism right now.
Yeah,
we are a couple minutes into the show for the week.
It's not a good one though. You're not going to get to do your little bit about it. It's just
you have enough. You either have enough juice left or enough gas in the tank. If you put juice in the tank, I don't know how it's going to roll. It might overflow the engine or something like that. And that might happen with Roki if you get too excited about it. Gas is expensive right now, everybody. If you want to try the juice in the tank, get some grape juice.
Legitimately, orange juice is less than a tank of gas, a full gallon of gas, and that usually is not the case.
I love it. Can't get enough. All right, it wasn't the only good performance over the weekend for pitching. Let's talk about the Phillies. Let's talk about Zach Wheeler. We can talk about Mr. Sanchez as well. Christopher Sanchez has been spectacular. So Wheeler was dominant over the Pirates. 8 strikeouts over 7 innings for him. We had a complete game shutout. Was it 13 strikeouts, I think, for Christopher Sanchez, moving his way into more Cy Young conversations along with our friend Paul Skeens, who did not have a good start on Sunday. We'll talk more about that later in the show. But check this out. Sanchez and Wheeler, since Wheeler came back, 30 innings for Sanchez, a .59 ERA, a .75 WHIP. Wheeler, 31 innings pitched over that span, a 1.99 ERA, .88 WHIP. So I'm gonna take a lot of L's today on the show. The first one is Wheeler. I was very skeptical about him, so he's been terrific. I'm an idiot. I apologize if I steered you away from Zach Wheeler. You could put juice in my tank if you want. If you're mad at me, go ahead. But it has been brilliant for him, brilliant for Sanchez, necessary for the Phillies too, because there's been some other inconsistencies. So what do you make of the two starts from the Phillies this weekend? Because they looked pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Sanchez, I think we said it, like the Luzardo one was a fun buy, but remember when Sanchez was a little struggly at the beginning of the year? The greatest and easiest buy of all time is buying back in on a guy like him when people were freaking out. Wheeler was a lot more nuanced, like you just weren't into it. I definitely was, and I actually would love to have had. We just did that show, and I referenced last week with Frank Stanfield, and the reason I bring it up is because we debated Zach Wheeler, and I put Zach Wheeler in like a pretty high spot as far as like rest of season rank. I think I had him right near top 15, and Frank had him like almost in the 30s. And the discussion was like, when Zach Wheeler's on, Zach Wheeler has the upside of a top 10 guy. So yes, his velo's down still slightly, but like the efficiency numbers are there, and you're seeing it. He has a 1.99 ERA. Even his expected ERA is still in the low threes. He's got his Ks are down, and that's the thing to continue to walk. But I think it's been just an adjustment period for him too into the season, like getting right after also like, not just missing time, but having some of the velo stuff. So easy buy. Zach Wheeler was. You could maybe make an argument right now, like, is this something to look at selling? Because Wheeler's probably roughly recouped all of his value, and that is a top 10 pitcher. If you think that he's going to backtrack, I'm not. I won't. It's a dub for Zach Wheeler. It's an insane, sick rotation of these two guys. But I will say, from a real baseball perspective, Phillies might want to consider looking, in the market to see what else is out there, because Andrew Painter's kind of been a disaster. Luzardo has been inconsistent. If they want to get back into a competitive market, they might need a third pitcher.
Look, for me, the Wheeler red flag was the velocity being low on the rehab starts. Sure. And I think that's a very good indicator typically. So no excuses, because it's been obviously great for Wheeler so far. But that was my big major concern. Now, fastball velo for him is still in that like 58th percentile I'm looking at right now. The expected ERA, obviously higher than what it is right now, 1.99. That's not going to stick around, but 3.39 is still very good. He's been terrific. Give him credit where credit is due for sure. Important starts this weekend I want to go through to Nate Eovaldi, who we were worried about because he had that side issue and he missed the start, and we were all holding our breath. He was terrific. 7 shutout innings, struck out 8. Another great performance from Eovaldi. Another guy's returning investment. One of my favorite returns in draft season this year. Sandy Alcantara, 0 earned runs, struck out 6. So he's been on a better trajectory. We called him out on the show a couple weeks ago. It was a bad stretch.
That's what did it.
Turning things around. I'll tell you what. I mean, it's too bad that the Phillies are in the same division as the Marlins. Otherwise, maybe they would go knocking on their door. But the Marlins aren't giving up anytime soon. Gavin Williams, 6th win for him against the Reds. The Reds did have the Guardians had a really funny post, though. I guess because they scored 10 runs yesterday. They said that Skyline chili really gave us the runs. That was funny. That was good.
Pretty good.
I like when the social media teams have a little sense of humor.
You a big chili guy?
I make a good chili. I do like chili, yeah, especially in the wintertime, especially on a football Sunday, because it's one of those things I can make it early in the day and then just watch football and everybody can just eat and I don't have to cook during the games. You like chili or no?
Yeah, chili's fine.
You're not a big meat eating guy.
But chili's fine though. It's all good. But I was just curious if everyone makes a big deal about the Skyline chili and stuff like that, and it's like I'm not sure chili would be the thing that it's like. Guess what? I got to get out and go get some chili. You know what I mean? Make a big deal about chili. I feel like people do that.
I have beans in my chili, so if you don't call that chili, I don't know what the hell you call it. But I like the bean. I like the little corn in the chili too. I gotta say.
Right on. There you go.
Lucas Giolito. He was eating the chili. Made his return to the big leagues for the first time this year. 3 runs, 3 walks, 5 innings, struck out 3. Kind of a mixed bag for Giolito. Do you have any thoughts about his return? I know you were kind of pound the table as his agent to get him back in the big leagues. You got it.
I brought him up like 3 times, but
that was enough. That's all it took.
But to the point, it was just like that was a relatively healthy pitcher that was sitting out on the market. He was just being kind of stubborn, I guess, about like what he wanted as far as like a rotation spot and the money and stuff like that based on what he had done last year. I don't think it's anything to write home about. You know, he 15% walk rate, 50% strikeout rate, didn't strike out a whole bunch, didn't give up a lot of barreled contact. If we're looking at like the pitches, this is going to be, you know, something concerning, but he's still stretching out, but 3 miles an hour down on his fastball. Again, all he'd been doing is like throwing his own, you know, little stupid sessions and stuff like that. Like he hadn't really been working through like a spring training and then going into the minor leagues, but a 3 mile an hour decrease on your fastball when you're throwing it more, that ain't it. So we'll have to see what, like some of these look like new versions of pitches, to be honest with you. His slider is down like 4 miles an hour. It looks like it's got a little bit, like I'm just confused at them. It looks like it has more spin and it's slower. So is that more of a sweeper? So I don't know. I'd have to see more of a runway for him. But I would say like right now, I'd be super worried long-term because all the velo is super decreased and he probably got away with a lot in that first start.
Shohei Ohtani doubled, tripled, drove in 5 runs, also stole a base and had 2 walks. I like to say these things because Michael Callie's here, so I always like to bring up some Dodger stuff. We got 2 Dodger things in the first 10 minutes.
Uh-oh.
You're welcome, America. Ryan Jeffers continues to be really solid. Another home run for him. Vlad Guerrero finally did another home run. Thank God. Again, he was getting close to that Tatis meter.
As soon as I picked Sal Stewart over him, like in the long term, that was the thing. By the way, I don't even see this should have been in like the headline news. This is nowhere, Joe. And you always give me crap for not studying and knowing the show sheet like a script in a movie. But you're talking about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. How about Luis Ariz? Luis Ariz with his first 2 homers.
I did miss that. Wonky called me on that too. Luis Ariz
not just 1, but 2 homers he's got. He's in the Vlad Guerrero range, and now Tatis the only one without a homer. I don't know if we've got.
Can we get an update on the Tatis? Let's see what Tatis looks like right now. Let's see how many days since a Tatis home run. 232 days. Wow. So that's a long time there.
Still staring at that baseball.
What happens when we get... He's like, why won't you leave?
Go to your home.
Why won't you leave the ballpark?
Answer me!
Do you hate me, ball? What's wrong with you? Junior Caminero, nothing's wrong with him. 12th home run of the year for him. I want to talk a little deep dive on some guys that have been a little struggle busts and a little surprising, a little mixed bag here for deep dive. So first, let's start with Gunnar Henderson. 4 for 5 with a homer, a double. We had a long conversation last week about Gunnar Henderson, and it was one of these principle buys, like buy on principle, right? Because we think he's a better player than he's played. It's a long season. Let's just see how it works out. Gunnar Henderson, I think a 4 for 5 day is one of those things that can spurn a guy off to having a great finish to a month. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, winning breeds winning. Success. Like you just sometimes need. There was someone that just said something like that. That was just like, I just need to get a homer. And then it wasn't Tatis because he still hasn't done it, but like I need to have that feeling and take it with me. Maybe it was Vlad that I just need to take that feeling with me. And absolutely, Gunnar, we may have talked about this before, but for the most part, if you're looking at like the underlying stuff, he's like the same guy. He is striking out more, but he's pulling the ever-living crap out of the ball. He's got a super low BABIP. BABIP is like 60 points lower than his career right now. So I think there's some things going in the wrong direction. Maybe it's also a little bit of quality of contact. Is he... a Bobby Witt Jr. light, maybe not, but even the worst. And this is always like something I think it's fun to look at. These super talented guys that are underperforming, even when they're stinky, they're still putting up good numbers. 10 homers, 6 stolen bases. Like he's still putting up counting stats when he's kind of a stink fest. So, him bouncing back, I think, is like a foregone conclusion. Just maybe it won't be elite. I'm full on still buying on Gunnar, and I think you still can.
Here's a question from B-Wiz. Joe, you recently had Stowers as a buy on a video. I did. Is he still worth holding in 10-team leagues? In a 10-teamer, you can cut him and move on. Because I think there's enough replacement value there. But in 12, I'm still holding if I can. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to get rid of him yet. Otto Lopez. How about Otto Lopez's start to the year? Double, run scored, driving runs, playing good baseball. I feel like Otto Lopez is one of these guys. I don't know how many shares, if any, that you have of Otto Lopez. I don't have any. But if I asked you right now who is leading the major leagues in hits, who would you say?
I guess I'd say Otto Lopez.
That's
what
correct.
A setup.
And
okay.
by a lot, too. Like, a fair amount. Let's just say a fair amount. 63 hits. Luis Ariz has 57. tied with Ellie De La Cruz, and Shea Langolier is actually 57 also. I would not have guessed that necessarily.
I'd actually have guessed like a Drake Baldwin over him.
Yeah,
one of these guys.
Well, Baldwin is 56, so
okay. I was going to say if I had to pick a catcher,
you're so smart.
That would have
Look
been
at you.
unfair. Well, no, if you would have just said like what catcher leads the league in hits, I'd have been like Drake Baldwin, not Shea Langoliers. That's impressive. But yeah, Otto Lopez started doing this last year. He was kind of free 99. I firmly believe this is one of those guys. Obviously, it'll come back down to earth a little bit, but just this is one of those who's good for your team. He's just good for you. No matter what happens, he's just better for your team than anything you can end up doing with him. So pretty impressive stuff he's putting out there right now. And that team, counting stats kind of galore across the board. But yeah, I think people were banking more on like the Kyle Stowers of the world and not the Otto Lopez's.
Yeah. Hey, but that's good. That's good. You want the evolution. I mean, I look at him a little differently. I mean, expected batting average is 292. He's at 344 right now, so I feel like that's going to come crashing down at some point. He's not a guy that I think is going to hit for a lot of power. He's got 7 stolen bases on the year, so like that's all right. I don't know. I think I wonder if this is kind of, once again, looking at the zenith or the peak of a guy's season possibly, and maybe kicking the tires on him and see.
But who's buying Otto Lopez, and what are they buying him for?
Well, I don't know, man. If you put Otto Lopez along with another decent pitcher or something like that, would you be able to steal away very disappointing Ketel Marte for the rest of the year? I wonder.
I would say
people are really sour on Marte
not a
right
chance.
now.
But I get your point. I'm always really dismissive of this because I think when you take like really low end names like this that are producing like crazy, no one on the like I always feel like no one is buying into what you're trying to sell when you're trying to get an elite player. But there probably are people that are out there doing that. There probably are people that are way more like rank viewing, paying attention to what Yahoo is saying. I bet Otto Lopez's rank is ridiculous on Yahoo right now. So maybe there are people out there doing it, but like I just think it's going to be a stupid
is the
trade.
second most traded player, only to Fernando Tatis Jr.
But is that when you look at those trades though, are those trades more about people buying on Ketel Marte or
someone's buying and someone's selling? I mean, I can't see all the trades, but the irony is, so he's number 2 at 164 trades on CBS. Number 1 is Tatis by 100 more. Fernando Tatis Jr. has been traded 100 more times.
Yeah, I would love to see those too, because that's another. Is that about people that are just like, I am so done with Tatis, or people that are putting out these competitive offers knowing that his best is yet to come?
I'm sure it's a mixed bag of those things, but I think it's fast. I'm trying to look for a pitcher that I would throw into that grouping. Like if somebody gave you Emerson, Hancock, and Otto Lopez.
Nope.
That's not just for you, because you're a very savvy fella. But man, people are sour at the 238 batting average of Ketel Marte. They're sour about how the last couple weeks have gone. They are frustrated, and it's palpable out there.
Yeah.
Trade streets.
There's also only he's testing the waters, dude. He's one of the highest expected batting average to actual batting average guys out there. So if you go look at like XBA differences, Ketel Marte is at the tippy top. But there is this element of like, expected stats are super fun, guys, until they aren't, until nothing ever comes of it. But like that, to me, Ketel Marte is way too talented. I don't think there's anybody in any league I've ever played in that would consider a Hancock for an Otto Lopez. I think it would be more like a higher named starting pitcher that's struggling. Maybe like a Logan Gilbert. I think Logan Gilbert's got like a 4 ERA, and maybe that's a little too high, and an Otto Lopez. Like I think it's something like that has to get it done, not I say no name loosely, not a no-name pitcher and a no-name hitter for the best second baseman in baseball who's struggling for 6 weeks.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's been struggling for 6 weeks for sure. It's a long time now where I think people are just kind of, I mean, if he, like to your point, if he had 8 home runs right now, 10 home runs, I think people would feel fine about it, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
5, I believe. So that's a problem. All right. This whole show is just me taking L's. Here's another L. Yuri Perez.
My favorite show of the year.
Yeah, I mean, bookmark it. But you know what we do that other people don't is we own stuff, For every Peyton Tolle, AJ Ewing segment, which maybe we'll have another one in the show today.
I mean, you picked 2 guys that you like. By the way, I just want everyone.
Kyle Harrison. I could go on, Welsh.
I would like the record to know what Joe is doing here, saying, I'm going to take this L and I accept this L. But for every L, just remember all of the W's that I had. But now I'll take this L.
But that needs to be the ratio. The ratio needs to be like 5-1. For us to be good at our job, right? Where everyone's going to be wrong about stuff. It's baseball. It's way too hard. It's not like the NFL where you have a certain amount of volume and a certain amount of things and the injury really matters more than anything. this is about performance based, and it's such a long season. So,
Yeah.
L's in baseball, you better, make sure you're hitting the.
Let's hear this L though. I'm excited.
The L is Yuri Perez. We got to talk about it because the ERA is at 5.33. The WHIP is at 1.41. 58 strikeouts to 28 walks. He's walking too many guys. He is. Here's my take on this, and I don't know what you think of it. I think Yuri Perez needs to stop mucking around. Throw strikes, attack the zone. If you get hit, fine. But the problem is he's trying to be too fine with everything when I watch him pitch. And all I wanted to do is just pound the zone with strikes and let the other guys behind him field the baseball. That's it. Just, you have a better chance, even with a good hitter, that they're going to find a way to get themselves out 7 out of 10 times. But he is beating himself right now.
That's the George Kirby thing, where George Kirby would pit. Remember how he refused to walk. He'd get pissy if he got a walk.
Yeah.
He would just throw everything in the zone, and if he didn't get the whiff, he'd come back in the zone, and people would bang him around.
But you know what? But I'd rather that. I could live with that at this point than him beating himself. And that's what Yuri Perez is doing. Thoughts?
Yeah, this might surprise you, but Yuri Perez actually, I'm going to cite Stuff Plus numbers again, because again, that will tell us about like the quality of the pitches and stuff. It's better. His Stuff Plus is better year over year, and almost pitch to pitch. The only pitch that is a lower Stuff Plus number than the year prior is his curveball and his changeup. So never mind, I lied about that. But two of the 5 are lower. Fastball is better, sinker, slider, those are better. His Stuff Plus number is better. But I mean, if you want to like dumb it down to like what you said, or have like a stat that backs up your your walk issue, his location is down 8 points. He was a 98 last year. He's a 90 on his location plus. And also his spray chart kind of tells this story. If you guys, if you want to see like what is it like, when someone dies, they have the outline, like remember when Randy Johnson fell and they do the chalk outline. The chalk outline of Yuri Perez is looking at his heat map of his pitches. My God, 4-seam, sweeper, slider. Guess where the location of those pitches are? Dead red middle. There's no zone coverage. It is dead red. It looks like you're going to throw darts at it and you're going for a perfect target. He is throwing the pitches that he does throw for strikes or get out dead red middle, and his sinker, he has absolutely no strike coverage of. His curveball is all over with dead red middle.
Hot take on why that is, because he's walking too many guys, and he keeps putting himself in circumstances where then he has to throw the ball there.
Well,
and that's my big problem with him.
Chicken or the egg. Chicken or the egg, yeah.
It's complete chicken and egg, but, well, look, I'm old. I've watched a lot of baseball. I'm telling you right now, the best pitchers in baseball, we always come back to, here it is, hit it, right? And you're 24 years old, you've got that kind of stuff still. Just go out there, here it is, hit it. And stop mucking around in the beginning of innings, in the begining of at-bats for guys. Take it to them a little bit. Yeah, that's all I want to see out of Yuri Perez.
And let me make one comment.
I'll feel better.
Let me make one comment too, because this is the. I don't. They probably don't mean it as much like this, but this comes off like super snarky.
This is a good question. Does he suck from the stretch? Do you have those numbers?
Oh God, you know what? That'd be a great one to look at.
That's a great question, actually.
But let's
not a jackass,
because this is the snarky stuff you get whenever you have analysis instead of just telling and agreeing that someone sucks. It's right here. Better call Bob. I'm searching for the Stuff Plus stat category in my category league. Lol. Roll my eyes at this. Too bad it doesn't translate to reality, Welsh. Continue will roll my eyes at you, Better Call Bob. Because I'm not making a justification that Yuri Perez is the greatest pitcher on the planet. This is called just analysis of a situation. His stuff is still good, but he cannot throw it for strikes. All we're trying to do is put a little context to what is blatantly obvious to everybody's eyes. Oh, look, he's got a 5 ERA, he gets banged around, he doesn't throw strikes. Well, guess what? There's some data in there that shows that his stuff isn't down, because there's one thing. If he can't throw strikes, and he's having bad results, and a pitch or two really stinks, and he sucks, then it's like, boy, he's far off. But his stuff is better, if not normal as usual. He just has to find a way to get there. And will he find it this season? I don't know. So to me, this is just one of those things where it's like, Yuri Perez, if I'm out of it in a dynasty league or I'm getting out of it, I am beating down the door to give me Yuri Perez because the stuff is still there.
Yeah. Oh, the worst thing you can do is in a dynasty keeper league is trade him right now.
But can he turn it around this season? I don't know. I don't know that he can.
I don't know either.
His pitch decision making and where they're going looks really, really bad. His a 14% barrel rate. Oh my God, it's really, really bad. I just don't know if it'll change. But again, stuff is good. Can't throw strikes. Are we going to finish it in season? I don't know. I'm not Yuri Perez. I'm not the Marlins. I'd hope they'd be able to fix it, but it's a kind of a bad translation for this year. So,
all right, let's talk about a good transition to a minor league player that just got called up. Colt Emerson. So, Welsh, you're the Mr. Prospect. Let's talk about him because Emerson is the latest of all the rookies that we've had here in 2026. Hitting 255, 347, 469, 7 homers, 10 steals. Donovan went on the IL here. He was 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored in his debut yesterday. So, I'm of the mind that Emerson as a name and an entity, I think, is a little bit more interesting in redraft as a trade chip than it is a contributor. So, hot new toy. Everybody's really excited to go out there and buy. This is where I stand with Emerson, but what do you think his shelf life is here with the Mariners with Donovan out?
Yeah, I mean, I did talk. I think I talked about this last week. This was on Prospecting with the Welsh. I've talked about that Emerson, and I put it in the prospect short that he was imminent here. And they told us the path, though. And it's funny, it was a little bit different. They said, like, that Brendan Donovan would most likely become like a super util guy when Colt Emerson comes up and he play third base. Well, Donovan went back on the IL. Emerson's up, and perceivably what they're telling us is he's here to stay. They want him to take this third base gig. Donovan will come back, play super util across the board. That's fine. I think Emerson, in points leagues, he could be interesting if the strikeouts go down. I think he takes time to adjust to leagues. He did that in the Arizona Fall League. He's done that kind of across levels. He's still one of the youngest players out there. So mind that. He's younger than like almost all the guys, but like Connor Griffin that have been called up this year. But I think he's like a lower counting stats guy. I think if the strikeouts are not a problem, he's going to hit for contact, and that'll be fun. I don't think there's tons of fantasy value. I'm not picking him up in a 10 team. I would speculate in a 12 and above. I don't think there's a lot of fantasy value unless he starts coming out soon. But, if anything, he's here and we'll see. He's hitting 9. I don't think that's super fun either. So if he comes out, if he comes out banging, then that'll be fun. I'm probably not running to the wire. I'd rather have AJ Ewing, Henry Bolty. I'd rather have all those guys before Colt Emerson.
All right. Actually, we'll talk more about the Mets prospects in a second too, because I know people are asking who's going to take over for the Clay Holmes rotation spot. We've got some thoughts about that, but I did find the answer to that really smart question about Yuri Perez and the windup and all that stuff. So from the windup this year, which again, this goes to my point, which I believe that instinctually I was correct about, and I found the numbers and it backed it up. Through 10 games this year, his whip from the windup, right, where nobody's on base, is 1.54, which means what? He's trying to be too fine with his pitches. He's all over the place instead of just attacking the first guy that gets up there, getting out. If he's got to put it in play, put it at. Stop walking guys. Stop mucking around in the beginning, because then you get into bad positions. So there you have it, everybody. So you're at your worst when there's nobody on base. That reeks to me of not attacking hitters from the get-go. And then you force yourself into this frame of mind where then you got to pitch for the stretch. And his stretch is 1.36, which also isn't great, but that's with runners in scoring position. He's 136, which is pretty hilarious too. His best is actually runners on base on first base, 1.28. Runners in scoring position, 1.36. Nobody on base, 1.54. I would
love to be able to see what the pitch mix is in those situations though too. Like, is he throwing, I don't know, his curveball more in, the stretch position with no want? Like, that type of stuff would be fun.
It's not true for most pitchers are at their best when there's nobody on base. It gets harder when people are on base, typically speaking. Generally speaking, that's when things are harder because you have the more opportunity to give up runs and you have guys who can steal bases. You have all of a sudden all these other things that enter into it. You should always be at your best when nobody's out there.
Now we're getting trolled now. I gotta be honest with you. I picked on Better Call Bob for doing this, though I find it funny because Bogman used to do this where people would be like, "Oh yeah, how's your war league?" when you reference war. This one did make me laugh. Todd said, Joey, appreciate it. The follow-up, Welsh, I'll drop Yuri in my league where whip without runners on base is tracked.
See, this is why we love this show. These are our people. Everyone's coming over for Thanksgiving. All right, AJ Ewing. Let's get to him because we can't do a show without an AJ Ewing segment, can we? He walked 3 times, stole a base versus the Yankees on the Mets walk-off W. You don't see any of those. 7 walks in 6 games for A.J. Ewing. And it does seem like Jack Wenninger is going to be the guy that takes over that Clay Holmes spot. Now, he did throw only 66 pitches in that last start, and he wasn't good. So there's speculation, did he get pulled because he wasn't good, or did he get pulled because they're trying to save him? And I think the answer to both of those questions is yes. Okay? Like, I just think that's what it is. So, Welsh, here you go. Last 16 and 2/3 innings, last 3 starts, 19 strikeouts, 7 walks. He does still walk a lot of guys. This is not a guy that's going to go in there and give you 6 innings. I just want to be clear. Like, even if he gets that call, he's a 5-inning pitcher like Christian Scott. Discuss.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't know who he was. You didn't know he existed until last week, Joe. So there's a W.
I knew he existed. I just didn't know how important he existed.
He had the best ERA, I think, in the minor leagues for all pitchers going up until like that last start. So told you before, I didn't know if they would be comfortable with going to Wenninger when Jonah Tong is sitting out there, who leads all the minors in strikeouts. But I think he had pitched at a level where they might want to see what he's got. And I think I'm going to speculate on it. Regardless of what we saw at AAA, I think there's some really good strikeout potential. Would really be cool if, there was like half of the opening day roster there and offensive support for the Mets and stuff like that. But like Wenninger is a guy that I would pick up in 12 plus. 10, it takes a lot for me to speculate on in 10-man leagues on like prospects. I mean, even like Connor Griffin at the start of the year was dicey. So I'm probably not, but anywhere else, 12 plus, I would pick up Wenninger just to see if the success is going to carry over into the majors, because he's a super, super talented pitcher.
Look, it's going to be an open spot in that rotation for a while. Clay Holmes is going to be out for months, okay, with a broken leg.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
fibula,
open season right now for that Mets. Yeah, broken fibula. So it sucks because he was one of the few guys pitching well. But what are you going to do? That's why the Mets can't have nice
But remember,
Chase
Joe, this what made me laugh. Wenninger,
what?
Not available in one rad man's league.
You know what? That's a T-shirt, right? Not available in my league.
We are looking at T-shirt potential stuff. So yeah, maybe that's it. Not available in my league.
Free agents. It just says free agent. Oh, no, the shirt says a free agent, and on the back it should say not available in my league.
Not available in my league.
Chase DeLauder, 2 for 5 with a home run too. He's been a godsend for the Cleveland Guardians. Let me tell you, he's been so good. Welsh, I know you like fun facts. Before we get to fun facts, how about fun giveaways? Cecil Fielder giveaway from pristineauction.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, FantasyPros MLB. Subscribe to the Twitch, twitch.tv/FantasyPros. If you do, you get a 1.5 times odds boost of winning the Cecil Fielder number 45 signed jersey from Pristine Auction. So drop your comments, subscribe. That's it. That's all you got to do to win. Fun facts. Nick Kurtz, 40 straight games on base. That's the second highest mark for any Athletic. Do you want to guess who has the all-time streak
Ricky?
For the Athletics? No, I would have said that too.
Oh, really?
Not Ricky.
Is it a modern era, or is it one when
Yes,
back
it's a modern era
when
guy.
you were a child in the 50s?
No.
Oh,
No, it's not Gene
let me throw
Tenet.
this one. This maybe I think this is actually probably a bad guess. Miguel Tejada?
Not a bad guess. Actually, a very good guess, but
Okay.
no.
Then I
Especially
don't
because all
know.
those kids
I know
have-
no other
Mark
A's
McGwire.
beside them. Oh, okay.
I
Mark
don't know if you ever
McGwire.
heard of him.
Familiar.
McGuire. Yeah, familiar. Since Scuba went on the IL, it's been bad news for the Tigers. They are now 2-10 in their last 12 games. A 5.32 ERA. Starting pitchers are 0-6. And thank God Scuba is playing catch already.
Oh.
So
Yay. Have a catch.
I mean, that's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it is amazing how one player, specifically a starting pitcher that goes every 5 days. I mean, there's probably it's not like a correlation. There's not actually a correlation, but like if it is, it's like, wow, you lose this one player and everything just kind of falls apart. But it was a big catalyst for this team, and that might be a warning sign to come of like what this team looks like when they inevitably can't sign him or trade him or anything like that. But yeah, brutal blow, and this is what it felt like was going to happen when he was gone.
yeah. Pete Alonso is the last guy up until yesterday to hit a walk-off here for the Mets in this scenario that they were in. This was just fun. I thought this. So since the 2024 Wild Card Series, when Alonso had that big home run, the Mets had lost 96 consecutive games when trailing after 8 innings, including the postseason. That is wild. Like, just nothing.
So wait. So they 96
when
games
trailing,
going into the
they lost-
ninth when they're trailing by any amount.
Correct, by any amount.
That's
Like, game
that
over.
is a weird.
You know what that's called? Quit. That's what that's called.
It does seem weird though.
I know. It was on MLB.com this morning when I woke up. I was like, wow, that's depressing. Not depressing. The Chicago White Sox There you go. And maybe PCA is a little depressing with some of his talk back. I'm sure you saw that.
What was that about, by the way?
I don't want to get into that because I know there's two sides of this discussion where people are like, well, if careful what you say, if you're going to talk crap to somebody, they're human beings. They could talk back. It certainly escalated quickly.
Isn't based on what he said. It shouldn't. I'm surprised no one's.
It's based more on what he said.
Yeah, I was about to say more conversation around what he said. Like I don't have no problem.
Yes, but the amount of people defending what he said, I found a little surprising. I'm not saying I'm one of the people who defended it or didn't. I just was surprised by the outcry of F around and find out backing. Of
well,
PCA.
I would say if I said to you, this player, I'm not going to say what he said, but there's a baseball player that told a fan ... Who would be the player you would guess in baseball that would do that?
Pete Crow Armstrong.
No, Jarren Duran. Jarren Duran would have been the one I would have thought. This screams
Pete
Jarren
Crow Armstrong
Duran
would have been my first guess.
I'm
did
sure.
It this year.
It would not have been the guy I would have guessed. I'm surprised.
Trying to think who my second guess would have been.
Jarren Duran. Oh, Tommy Pham is a great guess. That would have been number one. He's
Tommy
probably
Pham
done
is
that
a good one.
lot. But Jarren Duran would have been that. I'm surprised that there's not more just talking head media because I don't care. Like if you're gonna have people
I think there
chirping,
is. We just don't listen to it. I think there is.
Oh, do you think like Chicago? You know what I'm saying? Like
I think
the
it's
wake
all
up.
over Chicago.
Stephen A. Smith and like everybody's having these big conversations about like can Pete Crow
I think
really
Chicago
say that?
sports radio is sitting there all day going, "You defending PCA? You don't like him? Call in there and let's get the talk going here on the Chicago radio station." I think that's exactly. I think all day this is going to dominate all week. That conversation.
you think
This
so?
game against the two Chicago teams.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just like I feel like I'm not seeing like.
All I wanted to do
Twitter
was praise
buzz.
the White Sox too. I feel like I missed that.
Yeah,
Let's
you
praise
didn't.
the White Sox.
Yeah, dude, stay nice.
Over the last 30 days, they're first in team OPS, first in home runs with 48, first in RBI with 140, first in OBP 350, first in slugging 473. It's mostly Murakami, but still. Second in batting average at 261.
Brother.
How about them White Sox?
They have to get Murakami signed. Like they've got to do it. Like it's almost silly that they went to this 2-year thing that was going on here. They are in such a bad spot because like Murakami has kind of retransformed the market for him. They got to get him to a contract extension, even if he is going to be kind of volatile and the batting average is going to sway and stuff like that. They're on the precipice. What this team is doing right now. Super impressive with a young core. And they have got a litany of players to come. Braden Montgomery's in AAA. He's going to be up soon. Rock Chalosky, the number 1 overall pick, likely who they're going to take like 2 years from now. Like you add this group that's going to come with the players that are there right now. Like they actually have a chance to be competitive for many years ahead. They just can't let the stuff slip. It almost like it kind of stinks that Garrett Crochet's not there anymore, but they wouldn't have Braden and they wouldn't have Teal. But like they got to develop the pitching. They've got to get I think really you take the young hitters and you sign Murakami and then you put whatever other money you can and you get into the pitching market to help and they'll be wildly competitive. But I guess the whole thing is I just look at Murakami. He's only on a 2-year deal. So the reason all of those awesome, cool, fun stats of RBI and homers and it's because, like you said, because of Murakami. Miguel Vargas is helping as well. So hopefully they can
Vargas
get him
is
signed.
helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, the pitching's been really good too. We highlighted how good the pitching's been.
Yeah, Burke and Davis Martin been ridiculous.
I don't think this is going to sustain. By the way, okay, this is one of those like fluky thing. I don't think this is sustainable. I just don't. So we'll see as time goes on. The Reds bullpen. I hope it's not sustainable for them. 11 innings over this weekend series with Cleveland. 13 hits, 15 runs, 14 of them earned, 14 walks. 14 walks, 4 home runs. The team ERA in the bullpen. 11.45, 2.45 whip. Yowza.
Reds,
Yeah.
get on the phone.
Chapman.
Get on the phone. Find the Boston area code. Find a way to get a hold of the Red Sox. Make the trade. Get Chapman back with the Reds. Trade whatever you got to trade. They have all the prospects in the world. They don't have the greatest pitching prospects, but they got Chase Petty that's down there. They've got tons of Hector Rodriguez, Cam Collier.
Would you trade Arroyo to get Aroldis?
So, why do I always how you
Edwin
say his
Arroyo.
name? Say it again.
Edwin Arroyo?
Arroyo.
Prospect. Arroyo.
Okay, how you say it makes me
Arroyo?
laugh every single
Arroyo?
time. Arroyo.
Arroyo.
I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things I'm hearing. Yeah, I think he's a talented player, but I think 1 for 1 if this team wants to be competitive.
It's steep. I get it, Lee. I see the chat. It's steep, but Chapman's been dominant, and your bullpen sucks.
I think trading even like if you could get like a Petty if you trade like Petty and maybe even Cam Collier, like a two piece, you're not giving up your biggest guys. That would make sense. But the problem is like Chapman is just so good right now. The market's probably really aggressive. You might have to go and trade like an Arroyo for him. So I just like if you're, how much longer can you keep doing this if your bullpen's bad? Same thing would be for the Diamondbacks, which is just hilariously stupid. Someone's got to be aggressive in the market. I think the Reds should be the one, and they should go get Chapman.
All right, we're going to breeze through injuries and 3 up and 3 down. 3 up, Corbin Carroll, 2 home runs. Murakami, 2 home runs. Kyle Manzardo, 2 home runs. Those are all good things, everybody. All right, by the way, our friend over there who we were talking about on the last show, he loved that he got mentioned on the show so much that he tweeted back at us. He was so excited. And that's why I don't get bent out of shape about stuff.
The 3 up and 3 down
Those are the people who care about the show. And I love those people. You're passionate about the show. I like to hear from you. If you hate it, fine. Why do you hate watch it? If you love it, great. Why do you love watch it? As long as you're watching, I really don't care. Brian Bay. Oh, here's my else. The streaming show for Friday. I sucked. Oh my God. Everything I touched turned to granite.
Oh, did you suggest Bayo?
Bayo was the only guy I thought streaming.
Grayson. I remember
both
that.
of them.
I know.
Both of them. They were both awful. So I'm sorry. And Paul Skeens wasn't good either. 5 runs and 6 hits. So there you go. ERA's over 2. The injuries. Garrett Cole. I'm not gonna linger on the Skeens thing because he's a great pitcher. He's been an amazing run. Phillies have a good lineup. What are you gonna do?
See ya.
As happens sometimes. Garrett Cole, 1 run, 5 1/3, struck out 6 at AAA. He's showing good velocity too. Blake Snell back to the IL. Oh, Welsh. He's got loose bodies. This is the theme of the season, loose bodies. You know what I say, Welsh? Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Nothing wrong with Snell. 1. Nothing wrong with me. 2. Nothing wrong with Scooble. 3. Nothing wrong with me. Something's got to give.
All I think about when you do that, no, it should be like IL stint 1. But I think if but have you ever seen the one where it's the kids show? It's like the cartoon characters of the Muppets, and they're just like, I can count to 4. 1. It's
I have
that one. So. Yeah, it's a fantastic show. I think they mentioned he might do the same, or he did do the same thing as like Scooble. With the surgery.
Oh, who wouldn't? Everybody should go to the same doctor and say, look, you're fine. You'll pitch in 3 days.
Yeah.
For 3 months to you can pick up a ball in 3 days.
It's pretty
crazy.
It's pretty brutal.
It's crazy.
Not high.
All right, we already talked about Clay Holmes. He's out 6 to 8 weeks, so that sucks. Josh Hader needs 5 more rehab appearances, apparently.
Is that real?
Ronald Acuna, maybe this weekend.
That's weird.
Go screw. Trevor Story goes to the IL with a groin injury. Might as well because his OPS is like 200 right now. Jose Barrios, elbow surgery next week for him. Taj Bradley had a little bit of a rehab start. They hope he comes back this week. Corey Seager goes to an MRI for his back. Brandon Donovan, we mentioned, also to the IL. Kyle Teal with the knee issue, tweaked it, I guess, so he's going to be delayed. And Jose Altuve is undergoing imaging for a left side issue, so he'll be gone, I'm sure. Let's get to the home run board and see how things look. I only got 1 this weekend.
I got
Boo,
2.
Nick Kurtz.
I got Schwarber. We had a Schwarberfest on Friday,
nice.
But then Schwarberfest took a break, and I got none others. So I think I'm at 10 and a half. Remember, 10 and a half.
All right. Hey, double digits, baby. Double digits. Solar still at 23. Cubbies at 22. I'm at 17. 7th on the board. Again, Juan Soto jersey. Go to fantasypros.com/chat. It's free. It's fun. You can go win right now. Welsh, I'm going with Juan Soto against his old team and his old stomping grounds of the Nationals. That's where I'm going today. Juan Soto's got a pretty good career numbers, too, against the opposing pitcher, Mr. Irvin, today, too. So I was looking at that, total bases is an interesting bet for him today, too, if you're looking at that. He is 1 for 2, he's got a home run in 9 at-bats with a 1349 OPS against Irvin for his career. So that's fun. How about you? Where are you going for your home run call today?
I'm going to go with Nick Kurtz. I'm going to go with a reverse Nick Kurtz against Wilbert Urena. That is where I'm going to go for Nick Kurtz getting me on the board. I'm going to have to figure this out, too. If people don't know, I'm out on Thursday and Friday going to Las Vegas, and I'm going to have to figure out how to get my homers rolling here, and I need to have a really strong 3 days and have someone that's carrying me through. So hopefully the reverse Nick Kurtz will work.
And we got no shows on Monday because it's a holiday, so we're all off for the holiday.
You guys are going to be without me for almost a full calendar week.
My God, what are we going to do? Hey, Welsh, you know what time it is?
I think so, but it's a Monday, so it's not a great day to ask me, so I don't want to get it wrong. Why don't you tell us, what time is it?
It's time for the best bets
of
the
day
with Joey P and the Welsh from Hard Rock Bet, the sponsor of our show. Go download Hard Rock Bet right now. NBA playoffs are hot right now. And of course, you can get on all the action at Hard Rock Bet, Florida's sportsbook, and the official sports betting partner of the Orlando Magic. I'm going with the Cubbies on the run line, -1.5 at plus money. Let's go, +118. Why? Because Shota Imanaga is going against Brandon Sproat. And Imanaga at home this year has a 1.74 ERA. He has been nearly untouchable there. So that's where I'm going. Go Cubbies. Welsh, where are you going for your best bet of the day?
Well, I just want to point out, I kept thinking I was going to jinx this. I did not, because Lee is correct. Last week, I was a perfect 5 for 5. Every single day, everything I touched was golden. So we know where that's heading for me this week. But hopefully to reverse Kurtz it. We're triple reversing. We're jumping into the strikeout market, and we're going with my boy, Shea McClanahan. Shea McClanahan, 5.5 over strikeouts, or 6+. That is the play today, going up against the Orioles. Orioles are about mid-pack, a little bit lower than mid against lefties so far this season. There's some really good strikeout potential there. McClanahan has obviously been like a little wafty on the big strikeout games, but he did just strike out 7 Toronto Blue Jays. He's had 6 or more in 2 of the last 4. I think it's a really good matchup against Baltimore, and if Shea McClanahan is on, we should be hitting this very nicely. So Shea McClanahan strikeouts, going for a 6. I'm trying to get to Nick Kurtz. I'm trying to get his 40 on base streak. I'm trying to get that into bets. We'll see if it plays out, but that is my Hard Rock bet of the day.
There you have it, everybody. Bet $5 if you're new to Hard Rock Bet, and if you win, you get your winnings plus 150 in bonus bets only at Hard Rock Bet. Download the app today. Welsh, it was a Monday. It was a busy Monday. A lot of stuff going on today. Anything you're looking forward to in Major League Baseball today? Jam-packed show today.
I'm really looking forward to seeing if there's any other L's we can bring back to the Tuesday show. If we could just have the Joey L segment every day, I would be ecstatic.
You know, Welsh, one of the things that's tough to do is to keep it real. And we all know that I am the king of keeping it real.
Joey keeps it real.
That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time.
All hail the king.
I am King Ooh, as in Old Schmidt.
Old Schmidt. So stupid.
All hail King Ooh.
Oh, we need the Pope
Sounds like
hat.
Jerry Lewis.
Did they do the White Sox Pope hat thing yet? We need those.
Not yet.